2 to 3 vaccine candidates may get the green light to hold local clinical trials by January. Sinopharm is not part of those, but it has already been approved for emergency use by the United Arab Emirates. With the palace and regulators sending mixed messages, let's hear from a legal expert on this matter. Lawyer Howard Calleja joins us tonight on The Final Word. Attorney Calleja, thank you so much for joining us. You heard spokesperson Roque and FDA Chief Eric Domingo just a while ago. It seems they're confusing so many of us. What was done is legal or illegal?
Good evening, Rico, and good evening to your televiewers. No, malinaw naman, and if you look at and if you listen to what they have said, they are saying that if you have it injected upon yourself, if you give consent, that is not illegal. We are not saying that the soldiers that did an illegal act. What was illegal is the importation, distribution, and the doctors or the nurses or medical practitioners that injected this vaccine. No, if you look at it, we have the
Attorney Calleja, is there a clear violation of the law here? Because according to Section 11 of the FDA Act of 2009.
Yes, to me, Rico, it's the clear violation of the FDA Act, RA 9711, that prohibits importation. So, yung pagpasok dito, alam ba ng gobyerno yan? Alam ba ng AFP yan? Alam ba ng PSG yan? Yung possession yan, yung pag-distribute, yung pag-inoculate or vaccinate to them, then to their people, then that is prohibited, clearly prohibited under the law. And if you look at it, Rico, we even allowed under our law, we have the Bayanihan Act 11494, then EO 121, which was given by the President, which authorizes the Director General of the FDA to issue emergency use. And this emergency use was even issued by a guideline by the FDA, Circular Number 2020-036. Ibig sabihin dito, Rico, it has gone through some legal processes to even start the use of this. May guidelines tayo on how to use it. What we are saying is we have a law. If this government will not respect its laws, then what are we for? We have to be governed by laws, not governed by men, no? So that's the problem here, Rico. This government is always giving exceptions to their own. They're the ones breaking the law, and they're the ones making their own exceptions,
but Attorney Calleja,
which is not even valid.
But Attorney Calleja, maybe there could be an exception to the law, to this rule, because this is for the protection of the President and his cabinet secretaries.
Precisely, Rico, there is already an exception, and that exception is to apply for an emergency use. If there is no emergency use, then there is no exception to begin with. That's why, as I said, there is even a process given. We had the Bayanihan Law, which gave the President the authority to import vaccines and medicines for this use. There was even this EO, executive order. Even the President's, it is a presidential order, executive order, that allowed the director of the FDA to issue guidelines in order that the government may issue this or may use emergency use vaccines, which now is given, the guidelines or the rules or the exception is given under FDA Circular 2020-036. And nowhere in this circular, nowhere in this law does it say that porket sundalo ka, pwede kang kumuha ng vaccine nang walang lisensya.
So Attorney Calleja,
the soldiers are not liable, Rico, no?
So Attorney Calleja,
yes.
Is there a legal liability here? Can anyone file a case against the government regarding this illegal use of this vaccine?
Well, the government, the President cannot be charged because it's the President. But let's say the general or whoever is responsible in the PSG or the AFP or whoever would know the doctors that inoculated or whoever is the importer of these drugs, siguro naman, because the FDA has the authority to ask any government agency, they can ask the AFP, how did they get these vaccines? They should be transparent on this, being a government agency. If not, then they can be administratively liable and even criminally liable from 1 to 10 years if they have been found liable. Now, if they would not cooperate, I would think then they should be administratively liable. They should show an example. You know, it is a clear law and they should not be violated, not for any excuse. That's why, as I said, we have gone through a process. Even the president made its own executive order in order that the exceptions would be allowed. And if they would not even follow their own rules, then what are we here for? What is this government here for if they cannot even follow their own rules?
Thank you so much for clearing up this issue with us, Attorney Howard Calleja. So it is clear there was a violation of the law.